everybody, Blaine Austin here at Sewing Machines Plus, and welcome to our Thursday live show. Thanks for joining us. We've got a great show for you today. Glad you're here. Before we get on the show, shout out to some of the people watching out there today. We have Eric there. We have South Carolina. We have Kathy Brooks, 74 now. Boy Scott over Wyoming. We have Gary Water in South Dakota. Mildred Holt over there in Colorado. We have JJ. We have Lisa Bill. Minnesota. There's Shirley Chaplin down in Georgia. We have Picnic Kyle over here. Picnic Kyle. Where's your camera at? All right, we're going to get him short. Well, Kyle's here with me today. We've got Janome Continental today. We're going to talk all about this. Y'all. I really like this thing, and we're going to show it again. We had it on SewFest, and we have Sam Fung back in the house today. He's going to come in the show. But before we get Janome in here, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things that we got coming up at SMP. So, sound problems. Yeah. When they say sound problems, what are they? Y'all tell us what you mean.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah, I don't know if it was anything we did. Sorry about that. If they said there were sound problems, I didn't do anything. So maybe it's just a bad internet connection. Never know. But I wanted to share some dates with you, and so y'all can write them down and make sure that y'all are aware of some things we got going on. Now, on October 3rd, that is the next Thursday, I will not be here. I am going to be heading to Nashville, Tennessee, going to a meeting for Singer Viking FOF, SVP, as they call the company that owns all three of those companies. And they've got, from what I understand, they got a new machine they're going to show me. So hopefully I'll be able to bring some good stuff back with after I get back. But I'll be there. So next Thursday, I have a substitute, Kyle.
Who is it? Who's filling it?
I got a good fill-in for me. I got Miss Angela Wolf.
Ooh, nice.
She's going to be the host of the Thursday show next Thursday. And she's got a really good guest. The guest is going to be Sarah Vetzer of Brother. And guess what we're going to do? We're going to do a teaser basically to Art Spira. And so all you Brother owners out there, you probably have heard of the Art Spira app. Well, Brother, basically, most of the new machines they have out now, they have a lot of stuff out. But even like the scan and cuts, the print modas, the sublimation printer, all those will work with that Art Spira app. And so she's going to do a little teaser of how you can do things with the Art Spira. And also she's going to kind of talk a little bit about, we're having a big virtual event. That'll be a paid event that we're going to have in 2025, first of the year. And that Sarah will be doing. It'll be a 2-day event. It'll be a deep dive into Art Spira. So if you've ever wanted to know about that app, we're going to have something for you. And we're going to have some really good specials on all the machines that work with Art Spira as well. So that might be something. And we're going to try to make it real inexpensive too to sign up. But there will be a little cost to it just for the fact of all the logistics and things we have to do this. So that'll be coming up. So they're going to be here next Thursday. The Thursday after that, I will be back in the house, and I'm going to have Butler Robotics here on the 10th. And we've got a brand new product we're going to launch. You'll get to see the world premiere here with us, and it's going to be something that everybody out there could use. That's all I'm going to say, Kyle. They'll have to wait till 2 weeks. Let's go sew Joanne Banco. Hey, Joanne. Always good to see Joanne on here. And I've got another little announcement that involves Joanne I got to tell here in a little bit. But So the other thing we got going is the date is October 14th through the 18th. Y'all write all these dates down for me, okay? October 14th through the 18th. It's going to be National Trade-In Week. And so that whole week, you're going to be able to call in and tell them, hey, I've got a old Singer. I want to trade it in. How much will you give me for it? And here's what I want to trade it for. Any kind of machine you have out there, we're going to be able to give you a value for it, and you can trade it and trade it in for a new machine. And so that'll be 14th through the 18th of October. Make sure y'all mark those dates down. We'll advertise that too as well. And then on October, actually, we're going to jump to Cyber Monday. So December the 2nd this year is going to be Cyber Monday. That's the Monday after Thanksgiving. We'll have our Cyber Monday show. And it's going to be a really fast-paced show as usual. Every 15 minutes, we'll have a different product up there that you'll be able to look at. And we'll have demonstrations of that. And it'll be the entire day, every 15 minutes, no breaks, just a bunch of products. And we're going to have really good specials on everything. So it'll be a really good show. That same week, on the Tuesday through Friday, we'll start our Countdown to Christmas show. Normally, that's a 5-day show. But since Cyber Monday's in December this year, we said, let's just make it all the same week. So the Monday will be the Cyber Monday show. And then starting Tuesday through Friday, the 3rd through the 6th will be our Countdown to Christmas show. And so we'll have some really good specials for you on that and some educational sessions. We got some really good education lined up for that. And I'll go over a little bit more in that detail. But this time, it'll be 1-hour sessions. So all the demonstrations of machines will be 30 minutes. The educational sessions will have one a day, will be a complete hour. So you'll get to see some in-depth things. And it's going to be, the theme this year is last-minute gift ideas. So you'll be able to see some last-minute gift ideas that you'll be able to make. And so that'll be a lot of fun. Right after Countdown to Christmas, guess what? It's January 2025. Can y'all believe it's already this year's flying by? We're going to be at the Road to California Quilt Show through the 21st through January 21st through the 25th. And we're going to have a huge setup this year. We're going to have, so if you are in, excuse me, if you are in the area, we invite you to come out and check it out. We're going to have a big, huge King Quilter, booth with Butler Robotics. We're also going to have the Janome long arm booth there. We'll have Janome long arms, and then we're going to have a Aero cabinets, and I think we're going to have Harley and Valerie are going to be there in person. So if y'all want to come and meet them, because they've been on our shows many times, but we're going to have the Aero cabinet booth, and we're also going to have Serendipity. I don't know if y'all know that product, but that's kind of distributed by So Steady. And we're going to have a Serendipity booth. And then we're going to have our Happy embroidery booth. So the Happy multi-needle embroidery booth. So if y'all been wanting to see some Happies, and we're going to have, hopefully, that one there I've been telling you about. It's a 47-inch, I think it's a 17 or 18-inch by 47-inch embroidery field. It's for quilters as well. You can quilt on this thing. It's pretty awesome. So hopefully we'll have that in the booth as well. But that's going on in January. February, we've got our Stitch and Switch event. Now, our Stitch and Switch event is going to be an in-person event that's here in San Marcos, California, in our San Marcos store. And that event is just going to be fantastic. And it's basically Ring Wilcoxon of Embroidery Garden is going to be leading the charge. She is going to be doing 6 projects over 2-day period. And you're basically, it's team sewing. So you and a partner will sew on the same machine together. And y'all will rotate. After every project, you'll rotate to a different brand of machine. So basically, you're going to have 6 of the brands of their top-of-the-line machines, and you'll get to test drive all 6 of them. And so it's going to be a pretty awesome event. We're going to have some really great specials on the machines. And I've already said the challenge out there, Kyle. Anybody that flies in from out of state, which we've already got a bunch of people from out of state signed up for this. If y'all sign up from out of state and you come out here, fly out here, and you buy a top-of-the-line machine, I'm going to pay for your flight. So I'm throwing that out there again. I'll just pay for your flights. And but we've already got some people coming signed up from Texas that are coming out. So hopefully we'll get a bunch more of y'all to show up. It's going to be a great event, and it's 2 different dates. We're having the 12th and 13th of February is the first show, and then the second event is the 14th and the 15th, and that's the second one because we had so many people signing up, we had to add a show. So that'll be in the San Marcos store. We're going to feed you lunch. It's $149, Kyle. Is that right? $149 is the cost to you. And we're going to feed you lunch both days. We're going to have all kinds of chocolate and snacks, and we're going to do giveaways. It's just going to be a great event. And you'll get to meet a bunch of the SMP Nation. And here's the great thing about it. Every station that has a brand of machine, we're having a national educator from that company is going to be helping at the station. So if you have any questions about the machines or need some help during the projects on those machines, they're going to be able to help you. So that's a really good thing. And we're pretty excited about that. Then guess what that happens after that, Kyle? It's already March. Yeah. And y'all know what that means. It's Quilt Fest time. So March 10th through the 14th is Quilt Fest again. So if y'all want to enter a quilt, go ahead and start working on your projects now. We're going to have the quilt contest again. We'll have a best of show, judge's choice. We'll have 3 places in that. And then we'll have a popularity contest, the people's choice, where you get the votes on the page. And you can share it with Facebook and all that. So we'll have a prize for that as well. And so we encourage y'all, if you've never entered a quilt in one of those, go ahead and start making a quilt and enter. And you can even buy a quilt kit and just make a quilt out of one of the kits. And a lot of people have done that. So it's going to be pretty cool. And that's kind of got us caught up. So I got to talk about a new show. Are y'all ready to hear this? All right. So we're bringing back Takeover Tuesday. We started that a while back, and it just kind of got where it was hard to find guests and everything. But we're doing a Takeover Tuesday show, and I kind of gave you a little hint of it already. But it is official. We're hoping we're going to get it started in November. And Kyle, you want to know who the guests are? Yeah. Every week you're going to get to see a different person. However, there's 4 ladies that are doing the Takeover Tuesday, and it is Jane Klaus. It is Joanne Banco. It is Carly Bell, and it is Becky Thompson with Power Tools with Threads. So they'll do 1 show a month. So basically every month you'll get to see all 4 of them. So each week they'll swap out, and they're going to come on. They're basically taking over our studio. They're taking over our airways, and they're going to do a show and anything they want to do. They're going to come in and you got the best of the best, I think. You've got, Joanne can do anything sewing. Carly's big in applique and embroidery. You got Jane is a crafter. She can do all kinds of crafters and upcycle and go buy a pair of old jeans and make something else out of them. She is incredible doing that. And then you've got Becky Thompson, who does about everything too. She's big in scan and cut. She's a big quilter. She's a big embroidery sewer. So it's going to be a big variety of show, and y'all been asking for it to come back. It is back. We've made the deal. We got it worked out, and so hopefully we're going to start this November 1st, and we're super excited about it. And I think it's going to be a great time, and I'm looking so forward to it. You won't see Kyle or me or anybody. It's them. They're going to do the whole show themselves, and even if they want to bring a guest on, they can bring a guest on themselves if they want to. But basically the whole show is going to be about education and giving you tips and tricks. And we're super excited about it. So hope y'all are too. All right. Are we ready to get going this morning, Kyle? All right. So we have got Sam Fung in. Sam is a national educator for Janome. Now, Sam has been in this business, man, for 40 years. And Sam always kids along. He said he's got so many accessories and things at his house that he could actually open his own shop. And so that probably sounds like a lot of y'all out there have a lot of sewing stuff. But he is big into it. And so y'all welcome to the show, Sam Fung. Hey, Sam.
Hi, Brian.
How are you today?
I'm doing good.
Well, good. We're happy to have you here. I know you were just here not too long ago on SewFest, but today we're going to talk all about the M6. And I love this machine. And I love the display on it. I love the positioning of the display because it's right in the center, right where you're sitting when you sew. And to me, it just makes so much sense. So I'm going to let you take it away. And I'll be back here in about 30 minutes, and we'll tell everybody how they can get it.
Okay, great. Good morning, everybody. I guess for you guys it's morning, but here over in the East Coast, it's in the afternoon for us. So let's talk about the Continental M6 today. This is one of my favorite machines also. What I love about this machine is it's got a nice, sturdy flatbed machine. It has a 13.5-inch throat space. You have a powdered aluminum coated steel bed. Look at all the lighting that's on this machine. You have a 7-inch LCD screen right here to look at. The other wonderful thing about this machine is it is a touchscreen. So let me show you. Let me grab the stylus right here real quick, and let me show you some of the wonderful feature on this machine. To start off on the top right here, this is our foot up feature, which means when this is highlighted and it's turned yellow, every time I stop sewing, the foot will come up, the needle will stay down. That makes it wonderful. That way I don't have to worry about if I need to take my hands off of something, it will stay into position. So to deactivate it, I simply just touch this again and it goes off. The other key right next to it, this is my twin needle guard key on this machine. And you probably can't see it on the camera, but right now you're showing a single needle in the front. When I touch this, my twin needle guard is activated and only certain stitches will show up. As you can see, some of the stitches have grayed out. So what happens is the machine knows that if I'm using a twin needle, some of these stitches will swing over too far and it will break the needles. So the twin needle guard stops me from selecting those stitches. And the other thing is only seeing a certain stitch, but if I want to see more stitches up here on the top that's highlighted right here, this is my built-in thread chart. If I touch this, it shows me all my utility stitches available. Some of the other decorative stitches right here is telling me there's 11 pages to look at. I can scroll down using these arrows, and there's no applique stitch I could use with that. No cross stitches, but there's a few heirloom stitch I can use. Go down, and you can see there's quite a bit of some of these other stitches that I can use with the twin needle function. And if you never tried doing twin needle function using some of these decorative stitches, you should try it. It does really make look quite a bit different. We have satin stitches here and so forth. I'm not going to show you everything. You can do that on your own. And to go back, I simply touch this and go touch that. Okay, to deactivate that, I simply come up here, touch it again, and I get a message saying I have deactivated the twin needle function. As I said, okay. So there's a lot of safeguards built into this machine. The next button right here, this is my feed dog drop button. This is if I want to manually drop my feed dogs. But then again, on this machine, every time I stop sewing, the feed dogs drop automatically. As you can see right here on my foot, if I take this foot off, you guys can see the feed dogs are dropped right now. So when I take a stitch, the feed dogs will come back up automatically. So when I start sewing, these comes back up automatically. When I stop, they go back down again. So that's a really nice feature, especially when I'm sewing something thick, like handbags and things like that. I don't have to worry about the feed dogs being out in the way when I'm trying to pull out the fabric and stuff. So to put the foot back on, I simply just take it, line the bar, and push it back up. Now, the other way you can do it is just push down on the button. For me, it's easier to line up just by holding the foot and just push it up to the ankle. Because sometimes I feel like when I try to do this, I always end up missing the bar. So to me, it's quicker to do it that way. The other thing right here is my dual feed function right here. These little 3 lines. This machine do have the dual feed option available. The foot is an optional purchase for this machine. So you can get the dual feed walking foot, as most people call it, but we actually refer to a dual feet. You can get that as an add-on. Okay, so right now we're on the utility stitch. Some of the other stitches we have on here is we have buttonholes, and we have a lot of decorative stitches, as you can see. There are 40 different decorative stitches built into this machine. So let's look at some of the decorative stitches. As you can see right here, it's telling me I got 2 pages. So another way, these are by category. Right now, you have animals, you have lifestyles. What they did was on this machine, they broke down the groupings of the decorative stitches to make it easier to search for the stitches. So for example, if I want to look at animals, I simply touch the animal. The first design in that category shows up. And under animals, we only have 3 because it's all right here. Another way I can do it, like I can go to the stitch chart, and right here it shows me everything. The animals, there's 3. I have botanical, long stitches, and you can see these are my favorite right here, like the needle, the thread, and the scissors. So for example, if I like this particular stitch, I don't have to go back to the previous screen to look for it. I simply touch the needle, and it shows up on my screen right here. It's ready to be stitched out. So let's stitch this out and see how this pattern looks like. But the first thing I need to do is I need to change my thread. So because when we're doing a decorative stitch, the machine makes it a nice, much nicer stitch if we are using a decorative stitch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this regular sewing thread off. I'm going to change it to a decorative embroidery thread. And this is a very easy machine to thread. As you notice, there are 2 thread spools on this machine, 2 through spool stand. The reason for having 2 spool stand is that way while I'm sewing or doing decorative stitches or quilting, I can easily wind a bobbin at the same time. So it does have a separate motor for bobbin winding. So this is a dual motor machine, okay? This pretty much thread, like most of our machine, there are markings on the machine itself and also diagrams on the machine showing you how to thread it. Once I get it down here to the bottom, I simply take it, put it to the side lever up here. There's a cutter in the back, and I press down on my needle threader, and my thread is threaded. It's just that simple. Here's the thread. It's going to bring it down. Guys, here's my thread tail. Now, isn't that simple? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in here. We have the needles and the thread on here. I'm going to change my foot from the regular sewing through foot to one of the foot that's included. And one of the foot that's included is your decorative stitch foot. You get 2 of them. I'm using the open toe. There's a closed toe and an open toe one. I'm using the open toe just because I like to see where I'm going with it. And again, to attach this, I simply take the thread, put it behind it, and this time I'm going to drop the foot. As you can see, it didn't hit the needle bar, so I'm going to go in, try it a couple of times, and as usual, I can never get it to go in there just easily. So for me, it's much easier to do this by pushing up on the bar itself, okay? And we're going to put this on the side. I'm going to use the edge. I do have a piece of stabilizer. So when we're doing decorative stitch, we need to make sure we're using some type of stabilizer with it, okay? So I'm going to lower my foot by just touching this button. And I don't have my foot control attached. So I'm going to use the start-stop button and see, so you guys can see how this works. Now on decorative stitch, and it's going to stitch in my speed dial up here right now is stitching at a very slow speed, so I can speed it up. So we're not here taking all day during decorative stitches. Now, watch how it's stitching forward, backwards. It's doing this is a 9mm stitch. So these are 9mm designs. And this is a true 9mm sewing machine. So when I get to the end of the design, I don't want to cut it off right in the middle somewhere. So I'm going to push my tie off key right here. As you can see, the tie off key is flashing. And what it does is when it gets to the end of the pattern, it does a couple of stitches and it puts a little knot. And I just have to come here, touch my scissors. The foot comes up, my feed dogs drop, and there is my decorative stitch, as you can see. Isn't that nice? And there's the back of it. Okay. So that's one way of doing a decorative stitch. Now, the next thing I want to show you is how easy it is to combine these stitches. Now, before I show you that, let me show you two other buttons on here. These two that looks like a hamburger, these are my mirror imaging key. This one right here that looks like the hamburger standing up, this mirrored the image from left to right. This one looks like a regular hamburger, we'll mirror image it upside down. So if you look right here on my screen with the needle and the thread, when I touch this button, you see how it just flipped over? Not only that, this now icon shows yellow, letting me know that I have flipped my stitch. And here it is again. See? Simple, easy to see on this nice big LED screen. Now I can mirror image it upside down. Look, now it's going the other way, that way. So this machine is very intuitive, very easy to work. So going back to combining a stitch, I can come over here. There's a roll of hearts, and right here, and I don't know if you guys can see the back of the roll of heart. There's a hearts, a spade, and a diamond. So I'm going to touch this. This is my combine key. So when I touch this, you see my screen has gone blank because it's letting you know that now you have activated the combine selection. So I'm combined the needle, the thread, and the scissors. And I have all three on here. And now I'm ready to sew. So I'm just going to come down here, place the foot on the machine, and we're going to start this pro pattern. And as it's sewing, you can see there's a big cursor right here next to this window. And the design that's being stitched will turn blue. Once it gets to the very last design, it starts back from the beginning again. Now, when it starts the scissors, I wanted to finish the scissor and tie it off. So I'm going to sit here and touch the tie off key. The tie off key is flashing, showing me that I have activated it. And it finishes the scissors and knot it off. And there it is. I'm just going to cut it. And there I have my combination. Okay. Now, another thing I can do with this is this. I can add some alphabets to it. Let's say I have this 3 combination. I want to add some letters to it. There's letters available on our machine. There's 4 different fonts available. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cursor and move it down. I have 2 arrows right here. I'm going to move the cursor down to the end of my scissors. So I'm on a blank area right here. You can see. So I'm going to touch ABC. Now, when I touch ABC, I have these letters available to me. There's some block, script, Broadway, 9mm block. When the 9mm block, we don't have lowercase. It's only uppercase. We have Cyrillic, and we have some symbols. Okay, so let's do block. Okay, in block, right now, I have some more descriptions here on my screen I want to point out to you. Right here is showing me I have everything on uppercase. If I want to change the letters to lowercase, I simply touch the A. And now all my letters has gone to the lowercase. So if I want to do lowercase, I simply touch the smaller a and bring it back to the uppercase. So I'm going to spell the word sewing because these are my sewing notions. So we're going to spell with the S. I'm going to change it to lowercase E W I N G. Okay. Now I have the word sewing right here. Now, as you can see, my previous design has dropped off. Okay. Well, we can preview what we sew, what we have combined so far, simply by touching the magnifier right here on the top. The magnifier will show me how this pattern that I just combined is going to be stitched out, like right here. But what I want to do is I want to put a space between the scissors and the sewing. Like this, it's going to stitch the design next to the sewing. It doesn't look that good. So I'm going to add a space. And how you do that is, first I'm going to close my window. I'm going to go move. I've got to move the cursor back up to the S. So I'm going to simply touch this. As you can see, above I have the blue is highlighted. I'm at the cursors at the letter S. The 3 squares on the bottom is my 3 different spacings available to me. I'm just going to choose a large spacing. So I'm going to push this square right here. So what happens is it always inserts above where the cursor is. So it just inserted a space on top of the sewing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a space on the bottom of the sewing also. So I'm going to move back up 1, insert a space. Whoops. And in the letterings, it inserted in. So I made a mistake. So what I can do now is this. I can delete that. All I have to do is move the icon. The space is in blue. Touch the trash can. I just deleted that letter. It's just that simple. Don't you just love it? I'm going to move the cursor down 1 more. It's in a blank space. And now I just added a space here. So now I've got that space here. What about adding some more stuff to it? So I can go, let's see, I'm going to go back to the decorative stitch again. And then I'm going to go back and let's go back to lifestyle. And I'm back to lifestyle where these things are. I'm going to add the sewing machine on here. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I want to just stitch this pattern once. I don't want it to continue on. So right here on the screen, I have LS. And if you look, LS stands for locking stitch. And what the locking stitch here is the same as pushing the locking stitch button here. What I do is when I add the locking stitch to the end of the pattern, it's just going to stitch this pattern once. When it gets to the sewing machine, it's going to stop and tie off automatically for me. So I don't have to sit here and watch it and push the button. So let me show you how easy this is. And again, let me move over some. And we hit the start button and it brings the foot down automatically. You can see on the screen is stitching the second design. Now the third one, the scissors has another space. It is speeding up, stitching the letters. It doesn't take very long to sew these letters out. It's got another space. And as you know, when it stitches a space, it's just a jump stitch. Okay, so it's not going to stitch the whole square. Okay, and see now it's doing the locking stitch. It just did it. And it's done. So I'm just going to come here, cut it. Again, there's my sewing pattern. Nice, simple, and easy. And there's the back. A little of the red thread comes up. But when you're doing something like this, you would naturally wind a bobbin to match. But, you know, the white's fine. It doesn't really hurt it. As you can see, here's my space, and here's my space. It's just a little jump stitch on the machine. So that's just a little bit about the decorative stitches on the machine. Now, if you notice another thing on these, let me show you. this particular stitch, I'm going to go down to the spool of thread. And I play with this spool of thread a lot. Because what I like to do is the spool of thread, you can see, and when the spool of thread, it's kind of wide, the zigzag, I can change right now. It's telling me the width of this stitch. It's a 9mm width design. So if I want to make it narrower, I can. What I need to do is come out right here is my width. It's showing me 9.0. I simply push minus. And you can see how the spool of thread gotten skinnier. So this reminds me kind of like the aura fill thread or the sulky spool thread, which has a narrower spool. So if I was using, and one time I was using a variegated thread, what I did here was I wanted the thread to look all one color because I was doing multiple spools. And what I did was on here, this 2.5 right here is my stitch length for this particular design. So what I did was I shrunk it down. So if you can see, when I hit the minus key, you see how the zigzag is now closer? You guys see that? It's kind of scrunched it down a little bit. And so what happens is, if you're using a variegated thread and you start stitching this, this will be one color. And then if you hit it, if you're lucky, your next spool of thread will be another color. So it looks like you have multiple colors of thread without having to, stop between each design and changing your color. So there's just some fun stuff you can do. And like I said, we can easily mirror image these designs, especially like the scissors. Let's go down to the next one. I'm still playing on here. So here I am. I just shrunk this down. Let's mirror image this one. I'm going to flip this one so the scissor cut on the other side. And there it is. It just mirror imaged it. So there's lots of stuff I can do with it. If their mirror image is not available for that particular design, these two buttons will not show up. So you don't have to think about, oh, can I mirror image this one or not? Don't worry. The machine kind of, do the guesswork for you. Okay. So let's talk about something else. Let's go to another category we haven't talked about on here. And this little t-shirt. This little t-shirt is called sewing application. And what sewing application is, okay, it's telling me that my current combination is going to be deleted. That's okay. Let's say I want to save this. Okay, before I go to that, I'm going to hit X. And I just want to show you this. Here's a file folder with the arrow pointing in. I touch this. I open up the file folder, and I can actually go in here and save this design to the built-in memory of the machine. I have 3 megabytes on this machine that I can save my designs to, or I can select the USB and save it to the USB drive on this machine. There's no USB in there, but if I did, I would just simply touch the USB drive. And like I said, the machine knows I don't have a USB in here. Touch X. I would come here, touch the pencil, and give it a name, and then give it a name, hit OK after I do that, and then hit OK again, and my design would be saved. But since I'm not going to save this design, I'm just going to X out of here, and I'm just going to go to sewing applications, and when it tells me it's going to be deleted, I'm going to hit OK, because I don't want it to be saved. In sewing application, if you notice right here, I have 3 different pages available to me. Some of you may sew garments and stuff, or do cosplay, costumes and things. We have sewing, seaming, sewing curves. And what's so nice about this is, in sewing application, you're wondering, why would you need an application for sewing curve? And that's because on sewing curve, it automatically shortens your stitch length, because when you're doing a curve, you wouldn't normally use a normal stitch length on our machine, defaults to 2.40, where when you go into curve, it shortened it to a 1.5 stitch length. So this is very helpful for those of you who are starting out sewing, or you're not sure what the stitch length for you. The machine automatically does it for you. Okay. So let's go back to sewing application again. So this is some just to let you show you. There's lots of different things in here. If you want to do smocking, if you're putting a sleeves, if you're putting a lap zipper, you know, I don't know how many machine out there does, I mean, how many other brands do this, but on the Janome machine, it even walks you through putting a lap zipper in. It gives you step by step. So this is kind of like a guide that shows you how you do this. Okay. Going through our sewing application again. This here is the quilting application. I know there's a lot of people watching this live does quilting. Now in quilting, we have patchwork, free motion quilting. In free motion quilting, it's just to make sure proper foot is attached. And if we come over here and you look on this table right here, it shows you we have a bunch of different feet available for free motion quilting. We have the open toe foot, a closed toe foot, an open toe, short open toe foot for doing zigzag free motion and echo quilting. And you also have the option of the open or the closed toe darning foot, like the old-fashioned quilting foot if you want to use that. Available for this machine. Also in free motion quilting, you do get a ruler foot for this machine that it's showing you right here. And while we're in quilting, you also have two different 1/4 inch foot for piecing. You have one without the guide and you have one with the guide. So you do get 2 1/4 inch foot with this machine also. So going back to free motion quilting, if I want to use the non-hopping foot, I simply come down here and it said make sure you have the proper foot attached. I okay, because what happens is now you see on the screen is telling me to use the foot that just attaches onto the machine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this foot off and attach the other foot just so that you can see it. So I'm going to put the open toe foot on. And these are my non-hopping foot. Now with these foot that has the 2 bars on here, you would attach the top bar to hook in the back of the ankle first, like so. I'm trying to see this sideways here. And here we go. And push up on here, and I've just attached the foot. Now, let me get my quilt sandwich here. Put the quilt sandwich underneath here. And for what I'm doing, I'm just going to do this embroidery thread. Okay, I'm not going to take the time and change this out. You guys understand it. I'm using embroidery thread. And yes, I've seen people quilt with embroidery thread before. Okay. And I'm going to lower my foot. Now, you notice I can still slide the foot around. Okay. If I feel like that this foot was too close to my fabric, right here is my adjustment key. I can touch the adjustment key and it's telling me that my foot height is 1.5. If I want to lower the foot, I can just come up here and lower the pressure foot. As you can see, I can lower it and I can still move the fabric. The reason I'm telling you this, showing you this, is sometimes when we start free motion quilting, we need to lower the pressure foot because we may get flagging, okay? So I'm going to do a stitch, make sure the thread is behind the foot. And the machine in free motion quilting, it takes 1 stitch and stop to allow me to pull up the thread. I'm trying to look to make sure I got the thread in the foot. And stop. And see, it takes 1 stitch up for me to pull up my bobbin thread. See, there's my bobbin thread. I pull up both threads. And then when I hit start again, the machine's going to start moving. And then I'm just now doing my free motion quilting right here. See? Now this is how that's done. So you can free motion quilt on this machine simply like that. Okay. I want to show you another thing. I'm going to come back here and I want to show you ruler work. Just by touching a button, I'm ready to do my ruler work. In ruler work, the default setting is medium. You will put the ruler work foot on, medium or light, okay? In the light, I'll show you this. In the light, it puts the foot closer to the machine. If I left it on medium, okay, if I close this, medium, you can see, oops, it's 2.5, it's higher. So on our feet, because we can adjust the height of the foot doing ruler work, you can use actually high shank, low shank, or you can even use long arm rulers if you want to. This foot right here, it's a 1/4 inch thick foot all the way around. So that allows you to use your ruler. You can adjust the foot to the height of your ruler. So that way you don't have to worry about the ruler slipping underneath the foot itself. So for those of you who have low shank rulers or you have long arm and you don't want to use your long arm to do a small quilt, you can easily do it on this machine. So my time's about up. So before I go, I just want to let you guys know one thing. This machine comes with 2 plates. You get the single hole plate with it also. And one thing nice about this machine is to change the plate, you notice there's no screws on here. Simply touch the lockout key, hit the plate key, and my plate comes up. All I have to do is take my other plate, put it on the machine, and touch the X to exit out of the screen, touch the lock key to unlock, and now I'm ready to go. It's just that simple. The machine does come with an instruction, very intuitive instruction manual. It's a spiral bound, nice big book. It does have a cover for it. And right now, we have a special promotion through the end of the month, through September 30th, the end of the summer promotion. When you buy the M6, you get a trolley for this machine. It's a $449 value for free that comes with this machine. Right now, we're running the special on this machine for $39.99. I'm sure they're running it with a bigger savings than what we're advertising it for. So I'm sure Blaine will come back on here and talk to you guys all about this machine. And I want to thank you everybody for joining me today. And I'm sure Blaine.
Well, hey, great job, Sam. You always make that machine look so easy to use, and you know, and I love that machine. I just absolutely love the whole look of it and the screen on it. And you know, you're right. We do have a great special going right now on these things. And hey, Sam, I just wanted to ask you from the needle to the throat space, what's the inches on that? I know, in it 13 point something.
13 and a half.
13 and a half. I knew, because that for quilters, that is huge for them.
Yes,
that gives you so much room, doesn't it?
Yes, it's very
All
easy, big throat space. I
Yeah,
love
that's
this
great.
machine.
Well, hey, Sam, thank you so much for coming on today and demonstrating the machine again. I absolutely love this machine, and we're going to let everybody know how they can get one, okay?
Okay, great. See you
All
next
right, we'll
time.
see you soon, bud. All right, everybody, this is the M6, the Continental M6, by the way. And what's so great about this machine? I mean, think about that. It's 13 and a half inches from the needle to the right of that needle. That throat space is huge on that. Great price on it right now, $39.99. We are going to give you that free travel trolley. It's a Janome branded travel trolley. And great price on that. The travel trolley's, I think it's $549. Is that right, Kyle? I think that, but it's a really nice, it's a quilted type travel, you know, it's got the quilted pattern on it. So it is a really nice trolley that's going to come with it, and it's made specifically for the M6. So it's going to fit it really, really nice. But this is such a great machine. And again, we're going to have some special financing available for you if you need it. We're also going to ship it free nationwide. Now, one thing about the machine, I think the machine weight, if I remember correctly, is close to 40 pounds on this. And I think it's 38 something pounds. So it's not just really bad. I mean, that's not a bad machine at all for the size of this machine. You saw how big it was. Now it has 400 built-in stitches up to 9 millimeters wide. It's going to include 5 alphabets. The sewing speed on this is 1,300 stitches per minute. So you think about all you free motion quilters out there, you could actually do quilting on this and actually pretty fast. Because I mean, at 1,300 stitches a minute, it's pretty fast. It's got 12 sensors, or 12 sensor buttonholes. It's got 1 automatic. It has that snap-in presser feed, 7-piece feed dog system, and again, just loaded up with features. I mean, Sam just kind of scratched the surface. There's so many things this will do, and all you Janome fans out there that already know that if you own a Janome right now, you probably already know, how it works and some of the things on this. And if anybody's got an M6 out there, go ahead and let us know in the chat right now. If you've got an M6 and you're absolutely in love with this thing, let us know, because I know a lot of people, this has been a really popular machine. And again, I just can't even, if you want to know a little bit more about it, I would just suggest go to smplive.tv, and at the top of the page, Kyle's got that M6 up there. You can just click on it and go to the product page, read about it. And I'm talking about the throat space there. Everybody knows the harp. The harp is the height that you have in that throat space. This is 5.5 inches. So if you think about your current machine you have at home, go measure it real quick and look how this is got a really nice space in there. 5.5 inches and then the throat space to the right of the needle is 13.5 inches. So it's got a lot of space in there for your quilts. And again, all the decorative stitches, all the things that you can do with this machine is pretty incredible. And we've got a great price on it right now, $39.99. And again, you're going to get that free travel trolley. Give us a call right now if you're interested at all. If you have any questions about it, 800-401-8151. And we would sure love to sell you one of them. And again, like I tell you, this is one of the most popular machines we have with Janome. We sell a ton of these things, and there's a reason why. And I think they call that color, Kyle, I think it's called light periwinkle.
Oh, okay.
That sounds pretty official, doesn't it? That sounds pretty official, light periwinkle. So, but anyway, it's a really good looking machine, and it's very well done by Janome. So we sure do love having it. So, all right, if y'all have any questions about anything right now, go ahead and put them in the chat for me, and Kyle will be looking out for them and let me know what your questions are, especially if you got any questions about purchasing the machine or anything or about the machine. We'll try to answer them for you. Or anything else, just throw it in the chat. We'll try to answer your questions. But I think it's I'm looking at some of the very cool. Bernadette says, well, hey, Bernadette, it is a very nice machine for sure. And said beautiful for sure. Yeah, I guess what I like about this machine so much, if you see it in person, like I can go to our retail store and they'll have it on the floor, and you just walk up and it's sitting on top of one of the sewing cabinets, and it just looks so sleek. And I guess the word is elegant. I guess that would be the word. And with that big display that it has right in the middle of the machine, because if you think about when you're sitting at a machine, you're usually sitting centered of the machine. Well, most machines, the displays are on the far right. And so this is right in front of you, and right there, straight in front where you can see it easily. So I guess that's just what always draws my attention to it. When I walk in the retail store, I see that thing sitting over there, and I just always walk, just like I'm attracted to it because of that. It just looks so sleek and techie. I guess that's the word, Kyle. Techie? Is that a word, techie?
Yes.
Okay. It looks techie, high tech, but it's really not. It's very intuitive. It's really easy and nice to use. So, all right. I think, is there any questions, Kyle, that came in?
No.
Everybody's good? All righty. Well, I think it's time to give some stuff away, Kyle. What do you think?
All right.
Y'all ready to give some stuff away? All right, so what we're going to do first off, we are going to give away a set of our event bags. And these are $49.99 for the pack of 8, or you can buy them individually for $9.99. These are kind of like your permanent that you get at the grocery store that people use. Very nice. Our customers, I think, fill them up with fabric.
Yeah.
It's their fabric stash. But each one of them have a unique saying on the one side of it. And so we're going to give one lucky viewer one right now. So Kyle, spin that wheel. I just saw, I think, my wife's name flap up and my mom's name. Kathy Brooks. Congratulations, Kathy. Kathy's watching today from YouTube. So Kathy, you've got yourself a big set of bags. So to claim those bags, Kathy, we need you to go to smplive.tv. Scroll down toward the bottom of the page where it says claim my prize. Fill out all that information complete, hit submit, and we will send those bags right out to you. You have 30 days to claim that prize. All right, next up, we are going to give away one of our sew mats. Now, here's the deal this time, Kyle. We are going to give away blueberry is the color. Now, it's not up on the screen that you see. And normally we let y'all pick your colors, but we're going to give away some blueberry mats for a while because we've got a bunch of blueberry mats that came in, and they're really good looking. And we call it blueberry because it's kind of a cross. It almost looks like a Concord grape. It's a cross between the brother blue and the purple. And so we're going to give one of those away, and it's in the extra large size. So it's an extra large blueberry mat. And so Kyle, spin that wheel. Sandy Donnelly is our winner watching today from YouTube. So congratulations, Sandy. You just won yourself an extra large blueberry mat. And so what we need you to do to claim that prize is go to smplive.tv, scroll down toward the bottom of the page where it says claim my prize, fill out all that information. And in the notes section, just say, I won the extra large blueberry mat. That's what we need to put in there. And we'll handle it from there. All right, Kyle, next up is what? A $25 gift card to SMP. So if you win this, what we're going to do is email you back a gift card code, and you can just, anything you buy on SMP website, you can just put the code in the at the checkout, and it'll take $25 off your purchase. It's that simple. So Kyle, spin that wheel. Tammy Gray Thacker. So Tammy and Gary, I'm sorry. Tammy and Gary Thacker. So which is it? Tammy watching or Gary watching? You think it's Tammy? All right, well, they're watching. If they're both watching together, it may be Tammy and Gary. But they're watching today from Facebook. One of them are, or both of them. And so congratulations. What we need y'all to do to claim that prize is go to smplive.tv, scroll down toward the bottom of that page where it says claim my prize, fill out all the information complete, and make sure that email address is correct. And then what we'll do is once we get that information, we will email you back a gift card code, and then you'll be able to use that at checkout. That's simple. Next up, we are going to give away a Brother P-Touch label maker. Now, these are really cool, Kyle, because they work with a phone app, and it's basically like a Bluetooth printer, I think, and it does labels. So and we're not only are we going to send you the printer, we're also going to throw in some of the tape that goes in it to print the labels, the label tape. These are $130, and I don't remember what the tape cartridges. They're not cheap. I think they're almost like $10 or something. And so you're getting about $140 value here. So Kyle, spin that wheel. Paula Becker is our winner watching today from YouTube. So congratulations, Paula. You just won yourself a Brother P-Touch label maker. Paula, to claim that prize, we need you to go to smplive.tv, scroll down toward the bottom of the page where it says claim my prize, fill out all that information complete, hit submit, And once we get that information in, we will get you a label maker sent out. You have 30 days to claim the prize. That's simple. All right, everybody. Thank y'all for joining in today. Please come next Thursday and support Angela and Sarah on the show. I know they would really appreciate it, and super excited about having them here. And then I'll be back on the 10th of October, and I'll have we're going to have a brand new product we're going to launch, and you'll be the first to see it here. Always, we try to give you the world premiere of any new products. We work hard with the manufacturers, say, let us show it first, because we know that y'all love seeing it first. And but I hope that y'all have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend, and I'll see y'all in about 2 weeks. See ya.